Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with a VR. And this is something that I've had in my watch later list for a long time, maybe like a year. I think I meant to do this tag a year ago. I know lots of people did, but somehow I missed it. And it is the hashtag Living in Tarot, and it was started by, I can't remember the name of the lady at the channel, which is bad of me, I know. But it was Tempest Temple is her channel. I will put a link to her channel in the description box. And this is basically tarot worlds that you'd love to live in. And you know, we all love our tarot decks for many different reasons, but I think lots of our tarot decks we wish that we could live in, some not so much. And I did wonder whether after this video I should do another one of like tarot decks that I really don't want to live in, which I might do. What do you think? Do you think that would be a good idea for a video? I don't know. But anyway, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 decks of tarot decks that I'd like to live in, and I've got plenty more, to be honest, but this was about as few as I could get it down to, so I do apologize. I hope that this video isn't too long. But yeah, so I thought that for my first deck I would try and find a Rider-Waite-Smith clone that I would like to live in, my favourite version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And I looked through all my decks that I've got, and I've got quite a few sort of cloney type decks, and I decided on this, the Robin Hood Tarot, and it's a Llewellyn deck. I bought this used, I bought this second hand off eBay quite a while ago. The box is a bit bashed up, and it didn't come with a leaflet or anything, but the cards are in perfect order, and it is such a beautiful deck. I think the reason why, let me put this up so that you can see a few more of the cards. I think the reason why I chose this, and you can see I've not read with it, I have played with this deck and sort of looked at it a fair bit, but you can see it's not been read with. But I think the reason why I chose this deck is just because everybody just looks so happy in it. You know, there are very few miserable or angry or grumpy faces. Everybody looks like they're having a nice time. You can see everyone here in these cups is smiling. I know we've got some cards where people are not happy, but even those cards, there's just something quite cute and quite sweet about them, like this 4 of Cups here. You can see he's grumpy. You can see he's ignoring the cup there, but he doesn't look... Life looks good, doesn't it, in these cards? The sun's shining in most of them. They're colourful. Everybody looks happy. There's nothing, you know, even the Magician looks a nice sort of friendly sort of chap, doesn't he? Not a person that you'd be worried about in any way. Look at the Sun card. And the Moon and the beautiful High Priestess there. Look at her, look. Do you see what I mean? There's just something really nice about this deck. The World card there, she's smiling. I quite like the colour palette of this deck. It's quite fresh and bright. That's a good Devil card, that, actually, isn't it? Look at it. Look, this little doorway at the end there. That's a good Devil card. Temperance, Death, the Hanged Man, Justice. She's not too scary either, is she? Some Justice cards can be quite scary. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I just think it's let's have some other cards here. Look at that, look, the lion and the maiden there. Even the charioteer looks quite cheerful. Look, he's playing a harp. I mean, you don't often see that, do you? Look at the lovers. That's so funny. I suppose this is a deck of its time, isn't it? I don't know whether this was 80s, 70s or 80s. When was this deck? 1991, yeah. The Emperor. He looks a jolly sort of chap as well, not too stern. And an older Empress, which is nice to see. Yeah, so like I said, I have sort of flicked through this deck quite a lot. I haven't done any readings with it as such, but the more I look at it, the more I think that I might well do. It just looks a really nice world to be living in, doesn't it? Everyone looks friendly. Everyone kind of looks happy for the most part. Everybody looks like they've got a nice standard of living. It just is a nice place, isn't it? We have got a bit of a mean Four of Pentacles there, but I bet he's not too mean. And obviously the Five of Pentacles. I mean, I don't know how you could make that a less difficult card, really. Everyone else just looks like they're having a nice time. I mean, look at the King and Queen of Pentacles. It's just a nice deck, isn't it? What do you think? Yeah, it's a nice deck, isn't it? So yeah, I think out of all my sort of Rider-Waite-Smithy type decks, this is probably the one that I would like to live in the most. I think we'd all like to live somewhere where everyone smiles and is cheerful all the time, wouldn't we? That would be nice. So my next deck to show you is the Tarot of Pagan Cats, and I've got 10 cat decks, and I'd probably quite like to live in all of their worlds if I was honest, but I went through them all and I chose this one mainly again just because it's colourful and bright, and on the whole the cats look like they're having a nice time, a nice life here, don't they? I'm sure there's the odd card in this deck that's not so much, but on the whole this looks like a really nice place to be, doesn't it? There's flowers everywhere, butterflies everywhere, cats everywhere, grass and trees, and it just looks nice, doesn't it? Like the Nine of Pentacles is one of my favourite cards in the deck, to be honest. And this is a gorgeous Nine of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, isn't it? Let me see if I can find, because I know what drew me to this deck more than anything. I mean, that's not such a good card, is it? Bless. It was really a toss-up, I think, between this one and the Mystical Cats. I think they're probably my favourite cat worlds. But, yeah. Let me see if I can find the cards that, it's this one. It's this one here. I think I want to live in this world primarily because I want to be the black cat that sat on the back of the goat there looking grumpy. I just think that is so brilliant. And that's obviously the Knight of Pentacles. Where are the other knights? Because I think that's what really I love about this deck so much, is the knights. Which I'm not going to find now. I'm looking, oh, there we go. There's the fox. So that's the Knight of Wands. I'd like to be the cat on the back of the Knight of Wands also. Where are we? Even the Tower card. Look at that. Look. I've got that upside down. That's not too terrible, is it? That cat will land on its feet, I'm sure. Where are the other knights? Not that one. Oh dear, they're going to be like the last ones, aren't they? Here we are, look. And again, I would really like to be the cat on the back of the owl. Even the devil card, look at that, look. They just look silly, don't they? There's nothing scary about that. They just look silly. They're just trying to pretend to be something that they're not, aren't they? Where is the other knight? What am I missing? The Knight of Cups, aren't I? Oh, here we are. And there's the Knight of Cups, look. So I think even if it was just for these reasons that I'd like to live in this world, I want to go on the back of a fox, a goat, an owl, and a tortoise. It's such a cute deck, isn't it? Look at that, look. It's such a cute deck. So yeah, that's the pagan cats. Like I said, I think I could live in any of my cats' tarot worlds, to be honest. They all look like good places to be, don't they? So, what have I got next? My third deck, and this will be no surprise, is the Forest of Enchantment. I mean, who would not want to live in the Forest of Enchantment? Oh my God. It's everything, isn't it? This is really one of my most favourite decks. I'm struggling to think of the difficult cards in this deck. I do use this deck quite a lot. I've read for myself and I've read on my channel and, you know, played with it endlessly. I mean, just look, Starlight here. That's just beautiful. The White Heart as the Fool. The Owls. The Weaver of Challenges. Sunlight. They're just so beautiful, aren't they? Like, what an amazing fey world this would be to live in. Full of all this greenery and nature and animals and magic. And I mean, I don't know how he's looking so bored in the Four of Visions there, but I wouldn't be in this world, would you? The gorgeous wise woman. The wide world. Look at that, look. So you could just be so happy here, couldn't you? Just strolling around. Just beautiful. Lots of good company. Lots of lovely people. Except for the troll under the bridge. I don't know what it is. Even in the cards, well, like this one, the Three of Challenges, that's a bit Hansel and Gretel, isn't it? Which is not a great card at all. But if I was in that world, I'd have to go and rescue Hansel and Gretel, wouldn't I? And get them away from the witch in her cottage. It's just beautiful, isn't it? There's a real, on the whole, I think, a real innocence about this deck. I mean, like, who wouldn't want to be here talking to this tree? The Hierophant there. There's dragons and dwarfs. It's just gorgeous. I would like a wand that I could do spells with. I'd certainly like to go and meet the Council of Animals. I'd definitely like to meet him, wouldn't you? I think this is the King of Wands, isn't it? I'd quite happily meet him. There we go. So that's a few of them. Aren't they gorgeous? And look, the lovers. It's just beautiful, isn't it? I'm sure that you'll all agree that this is a world. I think most of us would like to live in the Forest of Enchantment. In fact, I think this is one of the ones that the lady at Tempest Temple had out of hers. I think she only had 5 decks because I watched hers the other day, but I couldn't get mine down to 5 decks. So I'm sorry, I hope I don't waffle on for too long. So the next deck is another really cute one. I think most of the decks that I've chosen are just extremely cute. And this is the Mouseboat Tarot. And like, again, who would not want to live in this world? Look at it. Let's get that down a bit further. The 9 of Swords. Look, this little mouse in his bed. The 10 of Swords. The Robin and the Hedgehog. The 7 of Swords, we've got a blue tit and a mouse and a cat and a rabbit. The 8 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, mice and a robin, a bee, bees and mice for Gemini. Leo there with the cats and the mice. The Fool is got like a thrush, little sparrow, a bee, a hamster, a frog, a fish. I would absolutely love to be part of this little world for a while. Look, they go fishing, they go on their boat, they go to the pub with the goat and the magpies. They've got the ram there and a stoat of Aries. The frog for Aquarius. I mean, just like who... Sorry, I've not put those out very well, have I? I could have fitted another card in there. Oh, look. Do you know, I am a Virgo and I'm supposed to be good with detail and like the details of things, but I'm so rubbish at being neat and tidy in these ways. What have we got? The Queen of Swords. We've actually got a person there, look. Like a little vole or something. Cancer with the crab and the mouse. Kitten and a mouse. The Page of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Another mouse and a little sparrow. Look at the frog. The King of Wands. The 2 of Swords. Like I said, just like who would not want to be in this world? On the whole, these little creatures just look like they're having so much fun, and they're in really nice little villages and towns and fields, and they go to the pub and they go on the river. And look at the lovers, look, a little mouse, and there looks like a snake there and a fairy and flowers. This card is such a beautiful card. The sun, look, they've gone to the pub, the sun. They've got some music there, their drinks, a little blue tit, a little hamster with his sunglasses, a snail going up the pub. The 5 of Wands, a hedgehog, a little newt, a beetle, a snail. I would love to spend some time in this world. I really would. A summer's day in the Mouseboat Tarot, don't you think? So there's that one. What else have I got? Well, another one that's very similar, actually. I think you're seeing a little bit of a pattern here, aren't you? A theme with my worlds that I'd like to live in. There's a lot of animals in them. Less people, I think, on the whole, and more animals. And this is obviously the Oak, Ash and Thorn. I nearly forgot that for a second there. Let's put this back up. So yeah, this is the Oak, Ash and Thorn, and this is just the most gentle, earthy, beautiful deck. It's one of my absolute favourites. again, who would just not want to live here and amongst all of these animals? I think this deck is in order because I've used it for something or other. But I have not read with this deck for quite a while. Look at all the rabbits. So these are all the pentacles, aren't they? The 7 of Pentacles, the 8. Let's have some others. So we've got the World there. Look at them. The little fawn. Judgment. The Sun. The Moon. Look at that with the squirrel, look. Oh. The Star is Fish. The Tower. Foxes for the Devil. This lovely Swan for the Temperance card. Look at the beautiful Death there. It's just lovely, isn't it? Some of these cards are sort of nighttime-y cards, aren't they? Look at the Hanged Man and Justice. Oh, I'd just be so happy here, I would. The Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit. I would like to be the Hermit. What else have we got? There's some more Pentacles. The Ace of Cups. So we've got squirrels for the cups, haven't we? What else do we have? We have foxes for the wands. Just lovely colours, aren't they? They're just so earthy. And then for the swords, we've got the crows, I think, haven't we? Yeah. Lovely crows. Oh, look at the 3 of Swords there. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing spectacular about this deck. It's all just very gentle and cute and gorgeous and soft, and there's no huge amounts of drama in this deck, really. It just all looks very peaceful and gorgeous and quiet, and it's just beautiful. Such a gorgeous deck. I would happily spend some time in this world with all of those animals. Yeah. So the next deck, and I've shown this deck recently actually, is the Wizard's Tarot, and this is Harry Potter World. And I wish that I had, I don't honestly know if there is another Harry Potter deck. It's something I've not looked into, but I bought this, I don't know, a year or two ago, I suppose. It's from Paper de Lune. And it's a Harry Potter deck, but it's a very dark deck. You know, you can't easily see the details and the characters in these cards because of the colour palette. But you can see who all the characters are, and you can see what's going on. And obviously this deck shows some quite difficult things, because in the Harry Potter films there's a lot of very difficult things that happen, you know, with Voldemort and his lot. You know, all the trials that Harry in particular has to go through. But still, I would like to be a witch or a wizard in Harry Potter world. I would really like that. It would just, well, when I started watching the films years ago, I watched them first with my son. I think I read the books and then I watched them with my son. And, you know, he grew up on Harry Potter films. We watched them a lot. They're something I watch, particularly at Christmas. I'll sit and watch them all. And I always just wanted to be Hermione, you know. I always just wanted to be this little girl that goes to wizarding school, that has all these adventures, and And she falls in love with Ron Weasley, doesn't she? They go on to have a little family. It's just lovely, isn't it? I mean, who would want to be a muggle if you could be a witch or a wizard? Even in a dangerous world where there are bad wizards, I would still like to be there. I don't know whether I've found a picture of Hermione yet, have I? Did you notice one? I wasn't really looking that closely at them. He died, didn't he? I don't know. You'd think there'd be something here of Hermione, wouldn't you? Do you know, a lot of people over the years have said that I am quite similar to Professor Trelawney there, the Page of Pentacles. I think if I had round glasses, I would be more like her, wouldn't I? Bless her. The poor old troll, look. I expect her. Oh, there she is. There's Hermione. See, this is who I'd really like to be. She's just full of courage. She's clever. She's bright. She's full of courage. She's a brilliant character. Brilliant films, brilliant stories. It's a world that I would love to live in. Yeah. So we've got 3 more decks to go. So the next one is slightly different from what I've been showing you, and it's the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, which surprised me actually when I sort of looked at it again. I've had this deck a long time. It's a Low Scarabeo deck. I rarely use this deck, but I really do. There's something about it I really like. I find it a very soothing deck. I think everything in this deck is very soft and, what's the word I want to use? Everybody just looks like they're very calm and in control, and it looks like everyone knows what they're doing. Looks like everybody's having a nice time doing what they do. It looks quite an ordered world, which appeals to me. I love the clothes that they're wearing. I just love the simplicity of these gowns and the colours. I like the colours in this deck a lot. And like I said, nobody looks like they're having too much of a hard time in this deck, really, do they? Look at that, look, that's a weird card, isn't it? The Ten of Pentacles with a thread coming down onto the cat and the dogs there. Yeah. It's simple, isn't it? It's uncluttered. Yeah, it's uncluttered. There's not too much going on. There's no feelings of sort of chaos or impending disasters or trouble or anything. It just looks like everybody's just doing their thing. And yeah, let's see one of the more difficult cards. Like we've got the Five of Cups there, haven't we? It's not giving me any bad vibes. And the Four of Cups there, she could just be asleep. Look, it's not necessarily that she's bored and she's come to be visited by all the animals. I mean, it's a really nice card, isn't it? Let's have a look at the Three of Swords, if I can find that. I might have already put that. Oh, there's the Three of Swords. Look. There's just nothing that's kind of unpleasant in this deck, is there? Like the Emperor and the Empress. Look at that, look how gorgeous that is, look. Oh. Their threads should meet up really, shouldn't they? Look at that though, that's lovely. Yeah, even the Eight of Swords, look. There's nothing here that is scary, really, is there? There's nothing that's difficult to look at. Everybody just looks sort of sensible and wise and happy, content. Everyone's just getting on with things. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. Right, the second from last deck is this one from my tin. And it is the Art Occultist Tarot. And I chose this. Look at the lovely backs of this deck. Look how beautiful that is. So slidey. It's such a lovely deck. I chose this mainly because of the romance of the deck, I suppose, more than anything. All the women in this deck are dressed in floaty gowns. I think this was a time when women were really women and men were really men. And, you know, like we've got the Seven of Wands there. I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but he's muscly. The Magician, Knight of Coins. I like the Knights and the Damsels. And, I mean, this card here is one of my absolute favourite bits of art in the world. This is Flaming June, and I've got the picture of this in my bedroom. So yeah, the thought of being in any kind of world where there's a Flaming June would be lovely. This little girl there with her book and her dolls. We've got a mermaid. We've got young romance going on there. I don't know, is that Lady Godiva? That's not Lady Godiva, is it? She's on a horse, I think, Lady Godiva, isn't she? We do have this card here, the Ten of Swords, which is not a great card to look at, really. But then we have the Page of Swords. And again, I would love to be her, sat out in beautiful gardens in a lovely dress, reading a lovely book. Yeah, I would have liked, if I'd lived in this world, I think I would have wanted to have been like the women in it. I'd have liked to have had some money and some degree of comfort, I think. I don't think this would be a good world to live in if you were poor. But I mean, look at the Queen of Coins there. Just so beautiful. The Death card, I remember that. The original painting of that. The Strength card. There's a lot of pre-Raphaelite art here, isn't there? Like I said, I don't think this would necessarily be the easiest place to live. It certainly wouldn't be as peaceful as some of the other decks that I've shown you. But there's magic, isn't there, here? We've got Circe here. There's the Ace of Cups. We've got all that romance and all that knights and damsels, which I do like, I have to say. I really do. I like that the women are very feminine and the men are very masculine. Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, you wouldn't want to be the Five of Coins in this deck. You wouldn't want to be this one. Or the Five of Cups, to be honest. Getting drunk all the time, all the live long day. But look at these cards. They are just beautiful, aren't they? They are just beautiful. I could quite happily be a damsel in distress in this deck, I think, and be rescued by some big burly knight. That would be nice. I would like that. So yeah, that's the Art Occultist deck. And the last deck that I've got to show you, hang on, get that in. The last deck I've got is my Tarot Landscapes deck. And I chose this one because I don't think there's any people in this deck at all. This is all beautiful landscapes. Come out. I don't want to come out. There you go. It's all beautiful landscapes and animals. And I could quite happily live in a place where there were far, far fewer people. Oh, look, the Page of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. I've shown this deck a lot on my channel, so I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. Like I said, it's just full of gorgeous landscapes, all different kinds of landscapes, but you don't see any people, I don't think. It just feels like you could just wander around this place, talking to the animals, laying in sunflower fields, collecting apples. It just looks a really nice place to be, doesn't it? Not necessarily in here where the pigeons have flown in and got trapped, but just looks a nice place to be, doesn't it? Six of Cups there. So we can see that people are around, but they're not in the pictures, are they? Oh, this is such a hard card to look at, this one. That little turtle there. He's nearly reached the sea. Bless. Nine of Wands. I think out of all the decks I've shown you, I think all of them I'd quite like to visit and spend some time in, but the only one that I'd like to live in permanently is the Harry Potter world. But all the others, I think I could quite happily just go and visit and spend time with the animals and in nature and, you know, learn a bit of magic in the Fae world. Yeah. So this is lovely, isn't it? It's a lovely deck. You can see why you would want to live here. Look at that, look, the Two of Wands. Just gorgeous. The gorilla. Yeah. So there we go. That was 9 decks, I think, for the hashtag Living in Tarot. And like I said, I think all of them I'd be content to be able to visit whenever I wanted to, but I'd really like to live in the Harry Potter world. And if you know of another Harry Potter deck that I'm not aware of, something that's not quite as dark and gloomy as the deck that I've got, I'd love to know. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed having a look at that. And if you haven't done this tag, I'd encourage you to. I'd like to see other people's choices. I remember this was popular about a year ago when it first started. So it'd be really nice to see what other people, worlds other people would like to live in. But please do say hello anyway. And I'm sending you all my love, and I'll see you all again soon.